We're joined on the SWOMP podcast by Ottawa Ray's Toronto-based artist Laurent Bourque, who now goes by the name Wardrobe for his latest project. Wardrobe, how's it going?
I'm doing very well. How are you doing, Aaron?
I'm doing just fantastic. So tell me a bit about this new project and really this new identity. I understand this idea came to you during the pandemic?
Yeah, it did. You know, it wasn't too complicated of a kind of process. I just kind of needed a fresh start for myself as a human being. At the same time, I fell into this world of kind of co-writing and collaborating, which I do consistently with other artists all over the world. And I wanted to kind of separate myself from the music I was working on. And then the second tier to that is really Wardrobe is like a really close collaboration with a producer named Loser Supreme based in Montreal. This project is very much him and I just kind of hammering out, writing songs together, producing, everything. So that's really the gist of it.
Was it kind of like a change in style for you as well? Because I see, you know, now your music is definitely a mix of pop and electronic R&B. Was the whole change to Wardrobe, I guess, like a kind of a shift in your style a little bit as well? Or
yeah, absolutely. I think that was part of it. This collaboration with Loser Supreme, it was very much a shift in genre for me. I mean, I kind of came up in this like folky world, kind of touring for like about over 15 years now. And I was playing solo, I was playing acoustic instruments a lot, and I just kind of really needed to shift. I just wanted to shift my style. I was a little bit sick of what I was doing, and that's also kind of what sparked this name change.
You've had an instrument in your hand since you were a kid. So did you grow up in a kind of a musical household, or did someone hand you a guitar as a gift, or how did that start for you early on?
The household was not that musical. I mean, other than, you know, I'm the little sibling in the family, so I have an older brother, and I think something prompted him to kind of start taking guitar lessons, and I was 8 or 9 years old, and whatever he was doing, I wanted to do. And so I just kind of followed him, and then I fell in love with it, and he stopped, and that was kind of the end for me.
That's kind of typical, I guess, with a sibling, right? The older sibling gets annoyed, and look at you. Now you've turned it into a career, right? So that's great.
Yeah, totally.
Right on. And so tell me, carrying on, I guess, with your sound and your you mentioned the different genres. From what I understand, your first kind of musical obsession was the song La Bamba by Richie Valens, which is quite different from electronic pop and R&B, I guess, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's funny. That's true. That's my earliest musical memory is kind of my dad playing that somewhere, and then I was just completely obsessed with that song, and I thought it was just the funnest thing I had ever heard, and that kind of led me into later on kind of listening to a lot of Michael Jackson and more pop in that style, really rooted in, I guess, modern R&B or disco beats. And those were my obsessions when I was a little kid.
Let's fast forward to today and later this month, I guess we're in May 2025. You're gearing up to drop your debut EP with under Wardrobe called Common Touch. So I said May 29th, that's going to be dropping on all the streaming platforms. So talk to me a little bit about that. You know, I know the title track's going to be coming out as well. But talk about this new EP. You got to be super excited.
Yeah, I'm extremely excited. I've been working on it for quite a while now. It's really kind of all come together quite organically. I was, particularly the song Common Touch, was a co-write with Brendan Canning from Broken Social Scene. We just got randomly thrown into a session together as part of a camp. And the goal was not even necessarily to write anything specific. So we just that song kind of birthed this entire EP, and that's where it all started. That was the first track, and it came together with no intention of a specific goal. It was just to make something that we all liked. That's when I knew things kind of felt a bit more gelled for me. Brendan also then contributed, like he wrote my previous single Deja with me as well. It's been great to collaborate with him, of course, and to, invite some outside sources to help with writing and production. And it's really a big part of the process.
You mentioned you've collaborated with other artists throughout your career as well. And expand a little bit on the like who you collaborated, I guess, with this project. I know you've mentioned some already, but who kind of helped you out with this album?
It's like a bit of a closed kind of loop. I mean, definitely Loser Supreme has been part of every single little thing. There's also been some great mixing done by Daniel Ledwell out in Halifax, who actually I've worked with on the production side of things, and then Brendan Canning, as I mentioned. I think that for me with this project, it's really not about being completely in control all the time, which is how I felt previously with my music, where I had to be the person, playing a lot of the instruments and really like making a bunch of decisions. And this time I'm like, well, if someone can do something better than I can, then let's give them a call. I'm kind of just assembling like these great players. I mean, this Evan Porter is a saxophone player in town. He plays with a bunch of people like Arkells, and he did horns on Common Touch. Really expanding the universe to find people that can complement the project is really exciting for me.
Oh, that's awesome. And that's really all about what music is, right? I love how you mentioned, going into this project, and it kind of stemmed from having zero expectations and really just letting the music happen and letting the universe take hold, I guess, of it, right?
Absolutely, yeah. It's a huge part of it for me.
The album, like I mentioned, is dropping May 29th. So can your fans, how does this work? It's not like you can just pick up your guitar and go on tour, I guess, with this type of a project. But, can we expect some live dates coinciding with the EP?
Definitely. I think that I'm working on some things only for the fall, because there'll be a few more tracks coming out in the fall. But it's definitely something that I'd like to do. Whether I do it, kind of solo in a very small setting, or something a bit bigger with bigger production, is something I'm working out right now. But definitely it's not the end of playing shows for me. Definitely not.
Right, on purpose. So we're going to look forward to that, and definitely we'll, stay tuned to your website for any announcements with that. But I'll shift gears a little bit here. So, anyone that, whether you're a journalist or you're a musician or any profession, really, you need to incorporate some, physical activity into your life just to refresh things and clear your mind. And from what I understand, you like to pick up a racket to kind of do this.
That's true, I do. I'm definitely incredibly obsessed with tennis. I kind of always have been since I was a kid. A longtime collaborator of mine, Jamie Cronick, who's an incredible drummer based in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia right now. He and I we grew up playing music together and playing tennis together, and that was always like, they went hand in hand for us. It's definitely the way that I kind of clear my brain, let loose and let some energy out, and it makes my day better.
Have you graduated to a paddle with pickleball? I've never played pickleball. Like, would that be considered an upgrade, or would that be considered like I can't play tennis anymore, so you're going to downgrade to pickleball? Not to offend any pickleball people, but,
No, I'll offend them. No worries. No, I'm kidding. No, pickleball for me is my retirement plan.
Okay, yeah.
when I can't sprint like you do and really contort my body like I do when I play tennis, is when I'll switch to pickleball. I've played it before. It is fun.
When that project comes to an end, maybe, and you have to go back to just playing like the, just you and an acoustic guitar, maybe that's your pickleball era, right?
I'm into that idea. I like that. That's a good plan.
Right on. Well, thank you very much, Wardjoe, for taking the time with us here on the Swamp Podcast today. We're looking forward to your new EP dropping on May 29th, and looking forward to some live shows, and we wish you all the best with your career.
Thanks for taking the time. Really appreciate it.